All right. Good morning, everybody. Today is Daf Yates. So we left off yesterday. We were discussing from the Mishnah as it deals with the concept of Peshas or Peshahitir. And we quickly touched upon a mechlokas between Rav Meir and the Rabbanan. And really, the Gemara is sort of going to repeat it halfway, so it doesn't repeat all of it. So we had Rav Meir that said the big rule was if there was a loan and the borrower admitted that the contract it was a valid loan document. Right. You don't need to go ahead and confirm the signatures, authenticate the signatures on the shtar. Therefore, according to Meir, witnesses come afterwards and say, hey, this is our signature, but, we were forced to do it. We were announcing whatever it is. They're not believed. Why? Because we didn't need them to authenticate in the first place. They don't have Peshas or Peshahitir. But if you hold that the signatures need to be confirmed, then those who come in and say, hey, this is our signature, but we were forced to sign, then they have the rule of Peshas or Peshahitir. So the Nekuda Machlokas is over there, why they have it or not, is whether you hold that that once they're made on the shtar, whether they have to go ahead and confirm it. So
they're not going to give it over. They're just a witness.
They're witnesses assigned to it. Correct. Right, but once if we don't need their testimony, then their testimony already was their signature on the document. You can't come to Beis Din one day and then come back the next day and testify, something else. We don't believe you. Once you testify, you're done. Unless it's Tochtei Dibur, fine. So where do we leave? In the comment, we hear that, right? Gufa, okay, Gufa, yeah, we made fine. I mean, I don't know, 38% of the way down. Fine. Gufa, maybe 10 lines on the top. Amar Rav Huna, Amar Rav. So we said earlier, Rav Huna stated basically the shita of Rav Meir. It says if the lova admits, this is a shtar, right? Then the witnesses come and say, right? So then you don't need to go ahead and verify the signatures of the witnesses. So Amarle Rav Nachman said, Genuva, right? What are you, a thief? Rav Huna, right? In the name of Rav, right? Right? Why are you making a statement as if it's your own? If you hold like Rav Meir, who's the one who says that then just say I love Rav Meir. Why are you saying it in your own? Samarle, okay, how do you hold? Samarle, if they come before us in Beis Din, Amrin and Lahu, we tell them, Zilu, Kaimu, Shtaraichu, V'chais Ladina. Go ahead, authenticate the signatures, and then go ahead and we go to Beis Din. In other words, they hold like the Chachamim. They hold that no, even though he admits that this is a good shtar, nevertheless, we have to verify the authenticity of the signatures. So, Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Rav, smacking on the page, Ha'omer shtar amana, who's that? One who says, this is a shtar aman. Right, we're going to have different shtaros, right? The smacking of Yud Testament Aleph. What is a shtar amana? So, shtar amana is that the loan didn't take place. Rather, the borrower wrote the note in preparation of borrowing from this person. So he anticipated he's going to borrow $1,000 from the guy. He didn't really talk it over with him yet. So he basically wrote the whole loan document, had it signed and all that ready to go. So he can present it to the lender and say, okay, now give me the money and here's the shtar. We're good to go.
Basically, it's a line of credit.
No, it's not a line of credit. It's a loan. It's basically what I said. It's a loan document. It's a loan document, but the loan hasn't been taken out yet. So he's just preparing it.
No, it's not.
No, it's not a line of credit.
It's a document of trust.
It's a loan document. It's a loan document. He just hasn't,
Reuben has to give him some of the money.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So I'm really one who says is a shtar amana ein neman is not believed. Now to come man, who is the one who said? Now who is the one who's not neman? If the borrower, in other words, basically is presented, and the borrower says, "Oh yeah, he got a loan document, but I never took out the loan." So, right, Pshita, Kol Kamina, it's obvious he's not believed, right? If someone has a loan document that says I owe him $1,000, right? If you know, let's just give a case. Let's say I pre-wrote the shtar, right, to Alan, because I anticipate Alan's going to be $1,000, right? So I wrote it, and also if Alan all of a sudden presents that, hey, Yo owes me $1,000, I say, oh no, I pre-wrote it, but I never got the loan. So I obviously don't have the power. He's holding a shtar, so they owe $1,000. Ella to Kamar Malva, maybe Alan's the one who's saying the lender. Tavallah bracha. If Alan says, oh yeah, even though I have this loan document, but Yo doesn't owe me any money, so you should Tavallah bracha. Of course we would believe you, right?
Why would it be signed then?
He had that. That's the issue. He had the witnesses pre-sign it. I'm going to go ahead. I had Sevi and Ozzy go ahead and sign the document because I'm going to go ahead. I told him I'm going to go ahead and borrow.
Going to the bank that
Right.
day. They
Yeah.
thought it was gonna come together.
So Ella the company Adim. So okay, right? It's like you have your what's that? When you have your notary, like sort of like pre-notarized before you sign, right? Ella the company Adim. So maybe the witnesses, maybe Ozzy and Zev in this case, they're the ones saying in this case that it was a shtar amana, that Yoel never received a loan. He sort of had it, pre-written before he approached Alan for the loan. So if we authenticate their signatures from another place, in other words, we know that this is signatures, it's obvious they're not believed, right? Because once their signatures have been authenticated, we don't need their testimony. And basically their testimony is on a document that says Yoel borrowed $1,000 from Alan. And if we don't know this is their signatures, and Zevi and Azia are the ones that says, yes, this is our signatures, why should they not be believed? They're the ones that are saying, yes, this is our signature. However, the loan never took place because it was a shtar amana. So now the Gemara gives a couple of terutzim. So I'm a Rabbah. Really, we're talking about, I'm the one who said it, the borrower. So, and why? What's the chiddush? Tell me that ain't an eman, right? Right? Because over there, right? Once I admit, yes, this is a loan document, right? In other words, therefore, I'm the one who's basically authenticating the document. Right, I'm saying that we don't need to verify their signatures, and therefore it's sort of like Pesha Sapashahit here. Nevertheless, Eino Neman. He's not believed to say it's a shtar amana. We'll soon see why later on. In Abayom really, Alan's the one who says, the loan never took place, and so what's the chiddush here? What's the case over here? Alan actually owes Meir $1,000.
I'm talking about.
So now Ukrab Nasan, and like Shchir Rav Nasan, the Tanya Rav Nasan, Aimer Minaylin, I should be Chaver Mana, Chaver Minayin Shemaitzim Mizev and Aisnim is that. Where do we know that if I owe Alan $1,000 and Alan owes Meir $1,000, okay, Meir can basically just go to me. Says, oh, I know you're supposed to pay Alan $1,000, but he owes me $1,000, so just pay me directly. Okay, now, so where do we see that from? Right? So you give it back, you return the stolen object to who is Asham Lo, to is him. In other words, the money is in the end owed to somebody else. So it's not clear who it was stolen from. If that person was stolen from actually owes somebody else money, you can pay that person directly. So therefore, in this case, if Alan says, Yoel doesn't really owe me $1,000 because I never loaned him the money, who does that hurt? It hurts Meir. Yeah. So therefore, Eino Neman, right? That's the reason why Eino Neman, because it's not Alan says, oh, okay, you don't have to pay me $1,000, right? Because you don't care about $1,000 because you know that you owe Meir $1,000, because even if you had $1,000, you would lose it because Meir would take it. So you didn't care. So therefore, Eino Neman. The Rav Ashi Amar, really it's the witnesses. Really it's the witnesses who are the ones who said it. Okay, and the case is Zevi and Azi saying, yes, this is our signature. We don't know their signatures from any other place. It's only from their testimony. So why are they not Eino Neman? That which you say, why are they not believed? The Rav Kahana, like Rav Kahana, Rav Kahana, a person is not allowed to go ahead and leave a shtar amana in his house. Right? If I have a loan document that says I borrowed $1,000 from Alan, I can't leave it in my house or anywhere. That document should not have been written because it's not true. I did not borrow the money yet from Alan. right? Shenemar, the pasuk says, "Al tishkam be'olecha avla," right?
Okay.
You should not leave an equity, something which is not right in your house. It's crooked. It's not true. So therefore, this document shouldn't exist. So by Zevi and Azi saying, "Yes, this is our signatures, but we signed it," they're making themselves Rishayim. Right, and therefore, since they can't make themselves a Russia, because we know that shtar mana should not be left anywhere, so therefore, Eino Neman.
Same thing applies for internet and TV.
Yes, you can. No one is believed to say they have an unblocked phone. Amar Rav Sheshes Berei Ravidi. So top line. It doesn't base. Amar Rav Sheshes Berei Ravidi Shmamino Midrav Kahana. Eidim Shamro Amana Hayad Vareino Einemana. Witnesses say that it was a shtar, right? It was an amana. Basically, it was pre-written, right? They are not believed by Taima. Kevin the avlahu avla lechasime, right? Since it's something which is not just, right? Therefore, they're not believed to go ahead and say that they signed such a document. And Amar Shimon Levi also Adam Shisha shtar paru b'sach beiso, also a written. Right, another statement is a document that was already paid. So let's say I paid Alan $1,000, okay, and so he should have torn up the note, and he didn't. So it's usher for Alan to leave it lying around. Mishum shenemar al tishkam b'lachavla. You should not go ahead and leave this off. Same thing, right? Something which an injustice would come from. To collect $1,000 again is an injustice. So therefore, you should not go ahead and leave it around in his house. And Rava Mishmei Derav, in the next the name of Rav, they said. The pasuk says that there's an equity right in your hand. You should distance yourself from it. That is referring to a shtar amana, basically a shtar that was pre-written, right, in order to collect from. The shtar pasim, and also a shtar pasim. Now, shtar pasim is basically something that, let's say, I think Rabashman had this issue, right? So let's say. I want to go ahead and go to a bank and say, show them I'm a wealthy man and they should give me a loan. So how am I going to show I'm wealthy? So I'm going to go ahead and have Ozzy write a note that says he owes me $1 million. So I'll say, look, this is part of my assets. I have receivables of $1 million, right? I got a lot of money here, right? So this is called a shtar pasim, something, right, that you have receivables on, right? In other words, so that even though it's not true, and I'm not going to collect from you, nevertheless, you cannot go ahead and have such a document. So shtar pasim. Also, in that case, right?
But if it is true, then there's no problem with it, right? It's only
If you're right, if you owe me the money, you're right. But if you just write the note to show that I'm a wealthy man, then that's not. That's already paid note. So madam shtar parua, the one who says you can't leave a paid note, kosher against shtar amana, certainly you can't leave a note that was never borrowed, right? Madam shtar amana, but the one who says that was the avla, referring to one that was never taken, of shtar parua, but a paid note to leave it around in your house is not so bad. Look, why? The zini the mishamilei abshita the safa, because sometimes, usually, the borrower is the one who pays for the sofer to write it. So he's the one who pays the $5. For the sofer to go ahead and write the loan documents. Okay, so let's say in this case, I say, okay, Alan, I need about $1,000. I have to go, pay my utilities. And Alan goes, fine, here's $1,000. But we need this written down. Like I don't even have, right? So instead of me buying, so Alan says, okay, fine, I'll pay for the sofer. All right. So I got to reimburse you for the sofer. So even though I paid you back the $1,000, you say, okay, where's my $5? I'll come with it next week. So okay, I'm going to hold on to this document until you pay me the $5. So therefore, there is actually a reason to hold on to the document in order to get your money to pay for the sofer. So,
you pay, I'm supposed to give it back to you.
Right, and tear it up. But you're like, yeah, give me the $1,000, give me $5 because I already paid the sofer. Here's the receipt. I don't have it. So it does make sense for you to hold on to it, but a loan that was never taken, that would be an avla. Itamar. And speaking of which, Sefer Sheno Muga, a sefer that I guess Tanakh that has mistakes, that's not right. Amar Abi ad 30 days, you can go ahead and fix it and leave it lying around. You shouldn't go ahead and leave it lying around. You should not go ahead and leave injustice in your house, something which is not true, and therefore you have to go ahead and have it fixed within 30 days.
So is this only a Torah or is this
It says Rashi says Tanakh, I believe. Sefer, it says Torah Nevim Ksuvim, right? So Amar Rav Nachman, Eidim she'amru amana hayid hareinu ein neman. Witnesses that say it was an amana, it was a shtar, right, that we signed upon, if the loan was not taken yet, they're not believed. If they say Modia, if they say that there was a sale, right? There was a sale going on, and basically the buyer basically sort of winked at the guy, showing them that like he didn't really want to go ahead and sell it. He was sort of being strong-armed in the deal. He didn't want to sell it, and therefore, just to avoid some sort of persecution, he was selling him over his property or whatever it was. All right. So he made some sort of hint during the signing of the document. So witnesses say, yes, this is our signature. But the truth is, when he sold it to to the mafia, he was like under duress, right? So ain't them on it. They're still not believed, right? Because they signed a document, no one is believed to say that. However, if witnesses say, yes, we signed this document, but it was never, he told me he was going to borrow the money next week, and therefore it's pre-signed. Ain't them on it. That they're not believed, because when the witnesses sign a document, they're signing that this is taking place. However, if they say, they say that we signed the sale document, but we saw that the the seller was under duress and he was basically being forced to go ahead and do it. They're believed. My time, what's the reason? Right? One, when it comes to, if I'm going to take a loan next week, there's no reshus for witnesses to go ahead and sign the loan document now. They should say, come back to us when you borrow the money, and then we'll sign for it. So therefore, there's no excuse for them to do it. Therefore, the witnesses are not believed to say it was a shtar amana, because as the witnesses are, they, as Rashi says, right, because they're mafshik on avshei roshayim, they make themselves roshayim. They ain't adam. A person is not believed to make himself a Rasha. However, when it comes to someone selling something under duress, right? So therefore, he, in theory, is allowed to go ahead and sell it. They are allowed to go ahead and sign the documents. But so therefore, they are nemanim. So Rav Nachman Tanai Hayod Varenu Mahu. What about this? Alan was going to sell Zevi his farm. Okay, he's going to sell Zevi his farm, but Zevi had to go ahead and fulfill a condition, right? Whatever the condition it was, right? So the witnesses were basically told, okay, here's the sale document. As long as Zevi, you go ahead and you give me a ride to Mosheva, then the sale will take place. So the witnesses signed the document, but they don't know if the Tanai was ever fulfilled. So the witnesses come and say, okay, yeah, we signed the document, but however, there was a Tanai when on the sale, even though the Tanai was not written into the shtar. So if the witnesses say, yes, we signed, however, there was a condition, what's the halacha there? So the reason why we say Amadea and Amana are not believed because they're trying to uproot the shtar. They're saying the shtar was invalid, the loan never took place, or the sale was done under duress. And over here, by saying that there's a condition, they're also basically uprooting the shtar of Dilma, or perhaps we say tonight the condition is something outside of the shtar, and they're not ruining the shtar. In other words, if they can testify, the shtar is one thing, and the tonight is something else. So okay, what's halacha? So so if Alan says that or Zevi says he bought the property, Alan said it never sold to you, or there was a condition. So all right, go ahead and fulfill it tonight. So okay, go get a ride. Zevi really want the place, go give him a ride, and then therefore everyone's going to agree.
And all this whole thing we're learning now is all talking about shtar, the aim around the shtar. So
right,
assumptions and no aim for the actual transaction. Shtar is different than transaction.
Well, usually the witnesses are there to testify that they were the witnesses of the transaction. Right, they're right, and I was okay. The sale is good. Just go ahead and fulfill it. Just, but they're not there to see the condition. The Tanai in this case, right? But the loans normally, when they sign a loan, they see the money being handed over. Like, okay, you're the witness to that. Eidomer Tanai, Eidomer Eina Tanai. So let's say like this: you got two witnesses. Say they both signed in the shtar. Mm-hmm. One witness says there was a condition on the sale. Mm-hmm. The other witness says, I don't know what you're talking about. So what's halacha there? So Eidomer Tanai. So Amar Papa. Tarvayu b'shtar ma'ayu masadi. Right. Really, they're both testifying that yes, we were there for a sale transaction. But the person says there was a condition, there's only one, right? So why should he be believed to say that there was a Tanai if him and the other guy both said it was a sale, and then basically it's like another testimony of a single testimony that there was a condition? Obviously, that's not believed. So if that's the case, if that's the case, even if both of them say tonight, right? In other words, you both say it was a valid sale, and then you both said there was a condition. Right? Rather, you must say that which they say there's a condition, they're basically uprooting their testimony on the validity of the signatures on the documents. And therefore, if one witness says, yes, this is my signature and that was a sale, and the other witness says it was my signature, but there was a condition, so therefore he is actually neman to say that his signature was only valid based upon the fact that there was a condition. If you believe me that it's my signature, believe me when I say there was a tanai. Therefore, now you only have one signature authenticated, and therefore you're not going to have yourself a good shtar mechira, right? And the halacha is Rav Huna Berei Yeshua. The halacha is like Rav Huna Berei Yeshua, who basically says that if a witness says, yes, it is my signature, but there was a condition, we do say, you know what? This shtar mechira is not valid because we don't have anybody saying that they signed for a regular sale, because the only way we know it's a signature is the same guy who says there was a condition, and we don't know if that stipulation was ever fulfilled or not. Taner Rabbanan, 8-9 lines from the bottom. Two people signed on a loan document. Umesu, and they died. So now we have to verify this loan, right? I borrowed a loan, and Reuven and Shimon signed for the loan, okay? And they both died. So now, what happens? And they died. And then along comes Zevi and Azi. Yeah, we recognize Reuven and Shimon's signatures. Aval, but Anusim hayu, Ketanim hayu, Psuliedus hayu. But Reuven and Shimon were either psulim, or they were forced, right? They were Ketanim at the time. So what do we say there? Hare elu neman. They are believed. Why? Pesha, so Pesha, right? They're the ones who validating, but that which you say is their signatures, it's not a good start. Therefore, they're believed because they have Pesha or Pesha. However, if there's other witnesses, right? There's Jack and Eddie testify, yes, this is Reuven and Shimon's, and they never said, that they were anusim or whatever it was, or or let's say Reuven and Shimon and other documents which were contested in court, and in court they verified the signatures. So now we have, right? We have in the archives of Beis Din, we have Reuven and Shimon's signatures, and we were able to confirm that this is their signature. Therefore, we don't need Zevi and Azi their testimony upon the witnesses, and then therefore they're not believed, right? So then they're not believed to say that yes, when they signed they were katanim, because we don't need you because we already know this is their signature, and you don't have the nemanos to go ahead and destroy it. So Gemara says, so why we? Well, and you can use it now. So okay, Azi and Zevi are not believed. So you say the shtar is good, and Alan can go ahead and collect $1,000 from me. So it's 2 versus 2. You have Eddie and Jack who say this is their signature. Then you have, therefore it's a good loan. You have Zevi and Azi say they were katanim at the time, Reuven and Shimon, when they signed it. So it's their word against their word. Why should Alan be able to go ahead and use this loan document of a case where it's disputed? It's trade or trade, 2 versus 2. Some Rav Sheshes, Zosameres, this means to say, Hachosha tchilas hazamahi. When you have edim achishim, when you have a contradictory testimony, it's the beginning of hazama. Now hazama, we know by edim zomen, we say that the second group is usually believed, right? Or it is believed to say, yes, this happened, but how could this be? You were at the time. So therefore, hachosha tchilas hazamahi, right? And we say ukshem shem azim as edim el b'fneim, and just like when Adam Zoman, they have to go ahead and the second group of witnesses come and testify, yes, you were with us on that day, right? And they have to do it in front of the Adam Zomim. So too, you can't go ahead and dispute the other witnesses only in front of them, right? And therefore, Reuben and Shimon are not here because they were the ones, basically, there's their signatures that says, yes, this loan took place. You guys are saying the loan could not, there's no testimony yet. So therefore, you're only able to argue on Reuben and Shimon if they're around. But since it's Rabafneim, therefore, you guys are not necessarily believed, and therefore, the shtar would be able to be upheld, and Alan will be able to collect his $1,000. All right, we'll stop here. Shkayach, everybody.
Yeah.